is a sound the mind makes when something breaks. It isn't loud. It isn't violent. It's quiet, like the snapping of a single thread in the dark. For Julian Mercer, that sound had come and gone many times. But now, for the first time, he could hear it, and he knew it was his. He hadn't slept since the day Lena showed him the photo. The victim's name was Angela Voss, 32, graphic designer, found in her studio loft, chest marked with the red hourglass, same as the others. Julian had dreamed of her, not once, but twice. The first time she was screaming. The second time she wasn't. She was smiling. Dr. Gray called it a dissociative episode. A part of your mind, he explained, is trying to protect you from the truth. But truth wasn't what Julian feared. It was certainty. If he could name the monster, if he could remember what it had done, it meant there was no going back. No more doubt, no more questions, just guilt, and the end of his life as he knew it. On the 31st day, Julian asked to be hypnotized. Dr. Gray hesitated. You may not like what you find. Julian nodded. I already don't. The session was quiet. No swinging watches, no soothing music. Just a chair, a dim light, and a question. Where are you right now? Julian closed his eyes, and his mind opened. A hallway, flickering lights, wet concrete beneath his feet. He was barefoot, every step cold and loud. There were doors on either side, identical, unlabeled, but he knew which one to open. The third on the left. It opened with a creak. Inside, a mirror, a desk, a journal, and a man. Same height, same hair, same voice. But he wasn't Julian. Not exactly. He called himself Emory. Julian knew that name. It had appeared once in his journal, scrawled in the corner of a page like an afterthought. He had assumed it was a victim, a place, a mistake. But now, it had a face. His face. Emory looked at him through the mirror, spoke without moving his mouth. You're not supposed to be here yet. Julian wanted to speak, but his voice was gone. Emory tilted his head. It's easier if you don't fight it. Then, Emory turned away and began to write in the journal. Julian stepped forward. The pages were already filled. Dates, names, methods, each one a blueprint, each one a death. Julian tried to scream. Nothing came. Emory turned back and smiled. You sleep, I work. That was the deal. Then the lights flickered, and Julian woke up screaming. Dr. Gray had to sedate him. He slept for 17 hours. When he awoke, Lena was sitting in the chair by his bed. She didn't ask what he saw. She didn't need to, because she could see it in his eyes. Julian was no longer wondering if. He was wondering how many. The next few days passed like a fever. Julian began to journal obsessively, not in Emory's voice, in his own. He wrote what he remembered, what he dreamed, what he feared. He began to notice patterns, names that appeared more than once, symbols in the margins that matched ones from crime scenes. It was all connected. Each murder wasn't random. It was a sequence, a message. To who? He didn't know, but it was building towards something. On the 40th day, Julian left the clinic. Dr. Gray warned against it, said he wasn't stable. Julian agreed, but staying in that room wouldn't stop the killings. And if he truly was the Sandman, then the only way to end it was to catch himself in the act. He moved into a motel on the east end of the city. No real name, no contact, just a room, a journal, a gun, and 3 weeks of blank memory to investigate. Julian began revisiting the crime scenes. He wore a hood, kept his distance, Didn't speak to police, just watched. Sometimes something would trigger a flicker, a scent, a sound, a shadow on the wall. Not memories, but fragments, pieces of Emory's nights. At the site of the third murder, he found a mural beneath the wallpaper. It had been painted over, but not fully. A symbol he recognized, the hourglass. But beneath it, something else. A spiral, drawn inward, a target, a map, a descent. Julian took photos, drew copies, and each time Emory came closer. Not physically, not in dreams, but in mirrors, at the motel, in windows, even in puddles on the street, always smiling, always waiting. One night, Julian woke to find his shoes wet, his hands muddy, a scrape on his arm he couldn't explain. He checked the door, still locked. The clock read 3:17 a.m. Too late for dreams, too early for memory, the bleeding hour. The next day, a news alert. Body found near Lake Harrow, female, mid-30s, same markings. Julian vomited in the sink. It had happened again, and he had no idea if it was him or Emory. He met Lena that night, told her everything, about the hypnosis, about the mirror, about Emory. She listened. She always did. Then she said something he hadn't expected. Maybe it's time to stop chasing him. Julian looked up. What do you mean? She leaned forward. If he's a part of you, Julian, then he's not hiding. She pointed to his chest. He's right there, underneath. Julian didn't respond, because she was right. He couldn't hunt Emory like a suspect. He had to face him like a reflection. And reflections don't run. They wait. That night, Julian sat in front of the mirror for hours. No lights, no sound, just him, waiting. And slowly, the shadow returned. Not in the glass, not in his head, in his posture, in his voice. He said a name he didn't recognize, a street he'd never visited, and a time, tomorrow, midnight. Julian wrote it down, folded the paper, and whispered to no one, "I'll be waiting."